Hi all, welcome to Anjan GCP Data Engineering. So in our previous video we have seen how to create Cloud Spanner instance along with the database and table, and also we have seen a video how to insert data into Cloud Spanner table. Okay, so in this video we will focus on how to load bulk data into Spanner table. Okay, for example, let's say we have a very huge data available in a Google Cloud storage bucket in the form of CSV format or text format. So in order to load the data, we have different approaches, right? So this is one of the approach where we'll try to leverage Dataflow template jobs. Using Dataflow template jobs, we are going to load this data into spanner table. Okay, so this is going to be very simple demo because we don't have to code anything, so we are trying to use already existing data flow templates. Okay, so right, so we'll try to use this particular template, CSV to spanner batch template, and there are some CSV files placed in a Google Cloud storage bucket. Okay, and those are very huge files, right? And there are two files which have already placed in the Google Cloud storage bucket, and those two files consisting of 1+ million rows in it. Okay, so we'll try to read those files using this template job, and then once we trigger this job will process all those rows and it will load the data into our spanner table. Okay, so I've already created one spanner instance and also a database, so I'm going to create a table to load this data, right? There are some prerequisites, right? So in order to load data into Cloud Spanner table using Dataflow job, you need to create the table first. That means empty table. Okay, and then there are some steps we are going to perform, so we will discuss those while we are performing the demo. I hope you are clear. Let's move to the demo. Okay, so right now we are into our Cloud Spanner instance page, right? And now this has this database called taxi demo. Okay, and our instance name is GCP demos. Okay, now we are going to create an empty table, okay, inside this database, that is taxi demo. Okay, so so I have already schema available for that. Okay, so this is the schema. So this schema should match with the files available in the Google Cloud storage bucket. Okay, so this is the Google Cloud storage bucket. I have already placed two files. Okay, so whatever the schema we have over here, this should match with this file schema. Okay, and you make sure whenever you place CSV files into this Google Cloud storage bucket, there should not be any header row available within this file. Okay, so then one important step required to load data into Cloud Spanner table, right? So it will load that data based on manifest file. Okay, there is a standard way to represent the manifest file in the JSON format. Okay, we are going to see that format. Okay, so this is the manifest file. So it will expect you to provide the table name, okay, and also file pattern. So here you will have to give the Google Cloud storage file path. We have two CSV files, so that's why I have mentioned file path for these two files. Okay, and also you can mention the schema name, right? It is up to you. And here basically I have provided the complete file path. Okay, for example, let's say if you have to use wildcard pattern, right? So if you observe these file names, right, these are almost similar, only this year is different. Okay, if you try to mention something like this, then definitely you will have to mention the schema details of that particular table like this. You'll have to mention the schema name like this. You'll have to have one more extra section over here. Okay, over here like this. So if you are trying to specify the wildcard pattern. Okay, so here I am not going to use this. Okay, schema details, that's why I've removed it. Okay, so I hope I'm clear, right? So now you will have to upload this manifest file into the Google Cloud Storage bucket where we have this files, CSV files. Okay, otherwise it will not recognize this manifest file and your Dataflow job will fail. Okay, so I hope I'm clear. Now we are going to create the Cloud Spanner table. Okay, so we have the DDL script ready, so I'm going to create that. So here I'm using Google Standard SQL dialect for this. Okay, so you should mention the primary key as well. Now we are going to create this table. Okay, now you can see our table has been created. You can check this schema. Right now this table is empty. Okay, now using our Dataflow job, we are going to load data into this table. Let us configure our Dataflow jobs. So here we have this option, create job from template. Okay, this is GCS to spanner. Let's see, test 1 2 3. Okay, so you will have to select the regional endpoint from where your Dataflow workers have to be spinned up and execute your workload, right? So I am selecting my nearest region. Okay, that is Asia South 2, and here you'll have to select the appropriate template, that is reading data from GCS and then loading into Cloud Spanner table, that is text or CSV data. Okay, just, and here you have different section. Please make sure you are not selecting any template from this stream section. Okay, so you'll have to select that template from your batch or bulk section. Okay, so here this is the template, text file and Google Cloud Storage to the Cloud Spanner. Okay, so select that. Now it will display some more mandatory option to be filled up. You'll have to provide the Cloud Spanner instance ID. So you will get that instance ID from over here. Okay, GCP demos. You will have to provide that instance name. Okay, then you'll have to mention the Spanner database ID. Again, you will get that from Spanner page. Okay, this is the database ID, that is taxi_demo. Okay, and then you will have to mention the manifest file path. Okay, so that you will get from your Google Cloud Storage. Okay, this is the file. Okay, so copy this and you will have to mention that file name over that path over here. Okay, so now you will have to mention the temporary location, because while running your Dataflow job, it will try to use one of the Google Cloud Storage bucket for internal process. So you'll have to mention that folder or bucket name. Okay, so here, go over here. So I have created a temporary folder. You can mention this folder name over there. Okay, now you can see this green color tick mark, so that it has validated this data, which is correct. Okay, now you can go for advanced options, optional parameters. Okay, so you can just leave everything empty, but one thing, number of workers you can select. Okay, so I am selecting 7 workers because I have very huge data, so that's why I am selecting 7 workers for this job. It is up to you, based on your requirement. You can select number of workers. Okay, that's it. Now you can click on run job, so that it will launch and batch Dataflow job. Okay, so come over here. Now you can see this job is running. Okay, so click on this job. So very soon it will display the presentation of the job execution. Okay, okay, now you can see the graphical representation of this job. Just click on this job. So there you can see different stages it will process the data. It just started. You can see just started, light green color. So it will take some time. There are so many stages it's going to process. Okay, we'll have to wait till that time. Okay, there are 130 stages. Okay, I think it will take 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so now go to our the spanner table. Right now it is, now you can see there are 7 workers it is using to execute our workload. Okay, since we have mentioned number of workers as 7, now you can see the stages are getting completed, 4 out of 130. See, very fast, because I am using 7 workers. You can see it's completing the stages very fast actually. When you try to use 1 or 2 workers, then you can see it will take a lot of time actually. Click on this. Now you can see how it has started, and you can see the execution flow, a very lengthy execution flow. Okay, now you can see the number of workers are getting reduced over here, because once it sees that, right, that workload is getting completed, then it will automatically reduce the number of workers. Okay, earlier it was 7, now you can see it has been reduced to 4. And this is very important section. Okay, custom counter section. Here it will basically display the information like, so how many rows it is processing, right? So I already told you there are 1 million plus rows available in those 2 CSV files. You can see it is reading these many rows, it is getting changed, right? And you can see, right, and always remember there is a concept called mutation in the cloud spanner. Okay, context, right? So whenever you try to write data into cloud spanner table, it will always use this concept called mutation. Mutation is basically, it represents a group of or sequence of insert statement which it's going to insert into cloud spanner table. Okay, so basically it divides this entire rows into mutation, and mutation will be associated with some group. Okay, now it has divided entire rows into these many groups, 4452 so far. Okay, right, now you can see these many rows are coming. Okay, now you can see this job has been completed successfully. 130 stages out of 130 stages have been successfully completed. Now you can see it has processed all the rows. Okay, now we'll go to the cloud spanner database, click on data. Okay, so due to free trial instance limitation, here it has inserted only 3 rows, because there is some limitation on mutation commits, right? I've already told you, right? So always it writes data based on the mutation. So that is what I have observed so far, but further I will investigate what is the reason it's not writing complete data into cloud spanner table. Okay, so yeah, I think the context is clear, right? So our basic concept is how to read data, that is CSV data from GCS bucket, and by using Dataflow template job, and how to write that into cloud spanner table. Okay, so I hope this will help you. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.